Hello, awesome people. Hope you are having a phenomenal start to your week. I wanted to pop on and do a video about how you handle situations where you have conflicting feelings about making a decision. So specifically in the context of what you want right now in the moment, being in conflict with what you want to achieve in the future. So for example, choosing between having 2 or 3 drinks instead of stopping at one impacts decisions that you make in terms of maybe the food choices that you have while you're drinking, even how you will feel the next day if you're well rested, that kind of thing. Another example would be choosing between going to bed on time or one more Netflix episode, and this impacts whether or not you'll be able to get up early for your workout the next day. And again, going back to not just the physical payoff, but like how you'll feel as a result of going to bed on time is important. Another example would be choosing to stop when you are comfortably full and satisfied at a meal. Instead of having a second helping and maybe dessert if you're really too full for it, this impacts whether or not you will see the physical changes that maybe you're looking to accomplish. And again, going back to how you feel will impact how you leave the table feeling, if you're overly stuffed and just feel groggy and icky and that kind of thing. So in situations like these, most of us think that the solution, we think of it in terms of having to tell ourselves no in the present in order to get what we want the outcome to be in the long run. But that's really hard to do, right? I'm going to go out on a limb and say that that method is not typically successful if it's the one that you utilize, only because I know, because I'm speaking from personal experience. So in many of these situations, you're asking yourself to put off immediate pleasure for a positive future outcome. And in many cases, that positive outcome in the future, it's just a possibility, right? It's not even guaranteed. While the immediate pleasure actually is, what you're going to get in the moment if you say yes to that desire. So most of us end up defaulting to what we know is guaranteed in the moment, especially given that it doesn't really require the resistance the same way that telling yourself no does. So what's the solution? The solution here is to reframe it for what it really is. That is saying yes to yourself. It's saying yes to the outcome that you truly desire and what it is you want, that future thing to look like, what it is you actually want to achieve, once time has passed a little bit. So practically speaking, how do you do this? Because you guys know I'm not a fan of giving you information without also giving you actual practical application. So what it looks like is, instead of focusing on eliminating what you don't want to do, focus instead on feeding the positive decisions and strengthening your excitement about the benefits that they bring. So that way, these new positive things slowly replace the ones that you want to do away with without you having to fight that uphill battle again that comes with saying no and having to just dig your heels in and resolve that discomfort, because a lot of times it doesn't last very long, right? So essentially what we're doing here is we're feeding the good, and the bad just kind of starves and dies without so much extra resistance. Now, all that to say is, it's not that it's going to come without a little bit of work, that it won't require effort, especially in the beginning, but just keep in mind that it will never be as difficult moving forward as it is the first few times you make the resolved decision to say yes to yourself. So in the same way that when you go to the gym and you do some kind of new exercise, it's difficult at first, but the more you show up with repeated workouts and practice, the movement gets easier, you get stronger, you're able to handle more weight. Same kind of thing happens here. Just remember that when you focus on what you gain instead of what's initially seen as a sacrifice, then you'll actually be excited about the discipline and the work involved, right? So again, it's showing up to the gym. It's hard the first few times you do something new, but you start to see changes. You start to see bicep vein poking out and muscles getting stronger, lifting more weights, and you get excited about doing the hard work. Again, just remember, this process is about saying yes, not no, and that you're not having to give up. It's about gaining something in the process. So hopefully you can see how looking at things this way, from the perspective of saying yes to yourself, will allow you to improve the quality of your decisions when it comes to dealing with these conflicting desires. I discussed in a previous video about the 3 A's, which comprise the core of the Trevor Cashew Nutrition Kickstart Program material. The process of decision making has to do with the first A, that is autonomy. So that's what we chatted about today in terms of which one of these A's that would fall under autonomy. So the other 2 A's are aptitude, that is the knowledge and skills that you have, and finally affiliations, which involves the social situations and the people in your life. So in the next video, I will talk about how to say yes to yourself in the context of decisions which also involve others, because that can present its own unique set of challenges, right? So if you're interested in learning more about how the Trevor Cashew Nutrition Kickstart Program can help you improve in all 3 areas, head to the link that I will have in the notes section. You can schedule a free call with me. We can chat and strategize and get you set up for success as you define it. And if you are interested in what it's like to work with us, you can get a taste of that by joining the Best Nutrition Group Ever on Facebook. I will also have the link to that group in the comments, in the notes section. And so you can click that link, request to join, answer a few questions, and someone will approve you, and you can kind of check out what's going on there. So if you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you would share it with someone who you think would also find benefit in it. Other than that, I look forward to chatting about the follow-up situations in the next video. You guys have a phenomenal day.